And we're back. And, Binding of Isaac. Rebirth. Because we just, we did this and we had a crash. I'm trying to get these stupid tags to save. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? I don't know. Like, I have to take the tag off, then put the tag on, then refresh the page, and it's just like a pain in the butt. It's a super pain in the butt. I don't care. It's gonna be one of those, streams. It's gonna be one of those wonderful, fun, fabulous streams. I think it continues us at the first floor, so we gotta do all this crap anyways again. What the... What? So, we lost, okay. That's, cool. We had Krabs' head, and we had... the fuck? We had Krabs' head, and we had, Cupid's bow. And now we have neither Krabs' head nor Cupid's bow. Did they started us with nothing? I didn't even know they did that. Now, will they randomize the item room too? Or will it still be Dead Sea Scrolls? I don't... No, it's Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, I guess we're getting that. What? What does that even mean? Folks, I don't know. We can't get that until we get a key. Great. Okay, there's our key. Good. Alright, now I know from when it crashed, this is going to be a good chest. We're going to have a room that may have a fly in it that explodes. It does. And if we can get the explosion over here, there will be a crawl space. Could you come down? Maybe? That would be cool. Thank you. The crawl space should have a magic mush. And thank dogs it does. Alright, so like we've seen this floor before, so we could just speedrun it, I guess. It does kind of suck that we didn't get a... a thing. But, you know, whatever. The Krampus' head. I guess that was the word I was going for? Oh. Unexpected. Delightful. Delectable, even. Now, we should get a... Oh, we don't have a Fool card anymore. What the fuck? Like, they just stripped us of everything? Fair enough. Really hoping folks kind of show up, but... I guess if they don't, they don't. Everybody's got things going on right now. The world is... it's pretty bad. The situation in Minneapolis is fucking awful. And that's why, although if you're watching this on VOD, that means you're probably not going to see the panel links, but that's why we've got a link to the Minnesota Minnesota Freedom Fund. They provide bail support, which a lot of the protesters are going to be needing. For obvious reasons. We want to get them out of the jails as quickly as possible. Because you could spend an awful lot of time in jail before you even get to a trial. And with the COVID going on, I imagine that trials are going to be delayed anyways. So, you might have people in jail that don't need to be and shouldn't be in any sane and decent world. But the Minnesota Freedom Fund can help those folks out. And so I would like to help them out to the extent that I can, which is basically through you, because right now I have no electronic cash. I have $2. Pretty much $2. Lovely. In liquid cash, and my arm is not, like, really all that great, so I don't think I could throw it all the way to Minneapolis, but I would try. It would not get anywhere, but I could definitely give it a shot. Oh, that is cheap. I'm disappointed. But, yeah, it's been kind of weighing on me. That's kind of what I wanted to talk with folks about. It doesn't make a lot of sense just to talk about it just to myself, because I've been basically doing that all day already. Hagelas. Actually, that's not so useless. Give me a little bit more space to work with. Ah, so stupid champions. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with y'all who may be watching this in a VOD later. Although that's unlikely because not a lot of people do that. I'm pretty low energy right now. I don't... It feels like it's very hard not to be low energy. Des! No, don't worry about it. It's perfectly 100% okay. I was just talking to myself. It's a thing that I've been doing for like 4 years now. How are you doing? Is everything treating you well? I hope. That's not helpful. It's just, it's kind of talking about the current situation that's going on in Minneapolis. And if you look down below, below the stream, there's a panel that should have a link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. And if you could spare like $1 or so for them, or more obviously, to help support. Better this week, kids are out of the house. Okay, interesting. Are they staying with family? I'm not sure why they would be. But I don't know if you've been, you know, what kind of news that you all get. Grandparents, but keeping distance. Fair enough. I'm glad that they're able to see their grandparents right now. It's got to be a very stressful time for both sides to not be able to see each other. That's HP down. We don't want that. They're less unruly and very excited. I can imagine, you know, the excitement of the grandpapa and the grandmama. And I imagine that you and Mr. Des are able... Little Lucian has a happy dance, it's hilarious. That is so sweet. I imagine that you and Mr. Des are enjoying your time to yourselves. A little bit of quiet time, us time. One would hope, at least. Hive, how are you doing, yo? I hope that life treats you well as well. You know, there's an awful lot going on recently, and it's a little bit hard to process. But I do appreciate you stopping in. Oh, that's useless. That's totally useless. Thank you. Yes, Fairy, our pond is leaking. It's full of koi carp, and there's no one around to fix it. I don't suppose one of those, like, instant noodle fixes would work. I imagine that whole meme was just a bunch of BS. But they are koi, so maybe if you used official Japanese ramen, then that would work. They'd eat it. Probably, that's probably something you're gonna want to avoid. The fish eat everything. Well, I mean, koi is as pretty as they are, and they are very, very pretty. They are bottom feeders. So it's, I think that they will basically vor anything they can get their hands on. They actually throw it out. Oh, you can't put lily pads in, they throw it out. Weird. They have a very distinct idea of what their home is supposed to look like. And they're not going to be gainsaid. Yarsht. Hive, are you doing well? Is life treating you okay? Or is the internet treating you okay? Because I know you got the weird Wi-Fi going on. Chomp the root, then jump and throw it. Those are very athletic koi. Indeed. I wouldn't want to get in a fight with them. Although mostly I'd rather just not get into a fight with anybody. HP down. I don't think so. Oh, hard poop. The internet is a thing, a showing of horrors at the moment. Yes, that is unfortunately more true than it ought to be, but it is certainly 100% true. They're bigger than your cats. Have you been following the news, Hive? Coming out of Minnesota? Because that's been kind of weighing very heavily on my mind recently. Oh. Oh crap! Oh, definitely didn't want that. Definitely didn't want that at all. Contrash? Better than what we had? Yes, not a China Central Park. Oh god, the Central Park thing was awful. Out of the loop in the news, I see viral stuff on the news. It's not good at the moment. To put a very fine gloss on it. The China stuff is, I'm guessing, is the recent changes to the security law in Hong Kong. The Central Park thing, there was a woman who was walking her dog. She wasn't walking her dog in Central Park. She had the dog off the leash, and oh yes. She had the dog off the leash. Another park goer told her to put the dog on the leash because Central Park is a no unleash zone, and she threatened to call the cops on him and tell the cops that he had threatened her, which, leading into the Minneapolis stuff that's going on, is a very dangerous threat to make to a black man these days. Yeah, she told him, he had basically just said, look lady, you can't have your dog off the leash here. And she got up like in his grill and she's like, I'm gonna call the cops, I'm gonna tell them that you threatened me, that you assaulted me. And like the US situation between the police and the black community is never good. I was gonna ask if they were black or some ethnic folks. Yes. And that kind of brings us to the really bad story going on. In Minneapolis, I want to say 2 days ago, the police pulled over a man named George Floyd, black man named George Floyd, and arrested him. I don't know why, and it's not important. They, during the course of the arrest, and I'm not going to get into graphic details because it's pretty traumatizing even in words, but the police officers killed him. It was pretty bad. it was shown through surveillance footage that Mr. Floyd, George Floyd, not Floyd George, Mr. Floyd had not been resisting arrest. He'd been calling for help. Other bystanders have been calling for help. The police, the other police, there was four police, and three of them stood by and watched. And so Mr. Floyd died, and a series of protests started. And the protests, unlike, and this is like the shit cherry on top of a shit sundae. We just recently had those nut bars with the assault rifles, the white protesters show up at the State House in Michigan, and the police treated them like just basically hands off. The protesters in Minneapolis, majority black protesters, the police were using tear gas on and treating them as rioters. So that situation is like completely yeah, it's everything is just completely fucked, basically. There's no delicate or nice way to put it. The situation is still, I don't think, under control. Nor, I think, you could question whether it should be under control, all things considered. And it really, really shows, I think, to everybody, these two incidents, the protest incident at the State House by the white protesters who were heavily armed, and this protest in Minneapolis by black protesters who were not armed. And even when things progressed to, like, riot levels, they were mostly armed with rocks and paint guns. So, like, not like guns. And the way that the police have treated these two groups differently is a stark underline. And that's why I mentioned earlier when you showed up, Des, but I'll mention for Hive as well. If you scroll down below the stream today, there is a link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. And if you could spare, like, just maybe a couple bucks or more if you have more, but, you know, right now it's not everybody's got a lot of money, so I'm not going to lean on folks, but because they could definitely use it. I know fascism firsthand, so since I'm mixed race, and what we've got going on in the States is like it's looking fash. It's looking straight fash. And it's a thing that all of us, and by all of us, I mean all of us Americans, this is not your or Hive's fight necessarily, but that we need to deal with, like, now, not later. I have a huge amount of stories I've faced since a kid to now. Jeez, dogs. This whole thing, I don't have the words to express how much this pisses me off. And even more so that I don't really know, like, what to do about it. Even Coup? I'm not sure I'm familiar with Coup. At least not in this context. Gotcha. But that's kind of where things are today. And, I don't know where it goes from here. Oh, even caused a breakup due to the color of my skin, and his parents not accepting me to the point of disowning him. Fuck me sideways. I don't get that in the least, but, I mean... It's a thing that happens that I know, but it's not a thing that I get. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Des. Apparently we bring shame, and what would people say? Our kids would be brown. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, obviously I'm speaking to the choir here. Clearly, your beau's parents didn't feel the same. That is massively fucked. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that none of this shit goes away, but... Could we stop taking dumb damage? It just seems like, even now, even still... Like, none of this shit changes. None of it gets any better. And people ain't got no need to be getting hurt, end up getting hurt, and that ain't fucking right. I still remember that comment. Fuck me sideways. So that was, like, they just straight up said that to you. I wish you could see me now as my kids are whiter than expected, even though I'm brown, and my husband is black, as we're very mixed. Huh. Ah, Sicilian. Wait, his family was Sicilian. That kind of unfortunately explains an awful lot. There's a history of Indian international students being murdered in Australia. I mean, obviously yes, for real, but when you say, like, a history, like, how long of it has this been going on? Oh, please. I'm trying to keep a coherent thought here. I considered learning the language, but nothing I was doing was enough. I guess at the very least, not that every cloud needs to have a silver lining, because oftentimes they don't, but it did mean that you ended up with your current husband and with your lovely kids, and not this this other jackass's family. Oh, at least we got one unlock. Because I can't imagine, even if you if they had consented through gritted teeth to the marriage, that Italians are very bad. I know people from the north who call Sicilians Africans because they're a teeny bit less white. Yes. And that's definitely a thing as well. Like, it's kind of like a shit rolling downhill type of deal. Oh! Not like this. Not like this. Damn it. At least I got the wafer. He had to choose. To a point where he lied that we weren't together. Had to park a block away. If any other Italians saw me, they'd tell on us. Christ almighty. But not particularly shocking. thankfully not in my immediate family. But I know my grandma was like that. My grandma on my mom's side. My grandma on my dad's side didn't say much, ever. But, yeah, she definitely had stuff to say every now and then. And I have the feeling that my uncle is similar. I don't get it, to me love sees no color. Well, right, you would think, right? If there's somebody that you love and they love you, and you kind of see past that, even if you should need to see past that, which, I mean, honestly, I would hope, obviously, though we aren't, I'd hope that we wouldn't even need to have to, but clearly we do. But, oh my god, but also, Ludo? Ludo, I read your comment, I read the fact that you said that comment, and I didn't even notice enough to say hello. Hello, Ludo. Thank you for dropping by tonight. I know you saw the tweet because you retweeted it, but, and I'm not gonna twist your arm because probably other people are twisting your arm too. But if it is possible for you to maybe drop a couple of dollars to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, it would be really cool. I can't believe we pulled off that dodge. I never pull off that dodge. And I hope that you're looking on well. Looking on well. I hope you're doing well. It went on for years. Funny thing is, I made the first move, which he declined, only to tell me why at the breaking point. Ugh. It went on for years is kind of amazing. That you would put up with that for that long. I was extremely lucky that Honey Bunny's folks were very cool about me, and my family was very cool about Honey Bunny. I don't know. Well, if my family had objected, I would have just told them to sod off. But it's a lot easier for me to say that because I live a 13-hour flight away from them. We've already done Shoal with Isaac, so I think we're gonna hop in the chest. He knew what happened, but again, love sees no color. Little drop that a Swiss gold ball. Oh, I get what you mean, Ludo. Oh, Isle drop. Okay. I misread the Isle as Lil. I'm gonna take like a really quick pause here. I'm gonna grab myself a drink of water, and I'm gonna come right back. Alright, and we are back. Let's see. What had I missed? It's a hell of a story, Des, and it's a lot of shite that you had to go through. I'm glad at the very least that you're in a stable and loving environment now. You've got grandparents that love you and love your kids. Well, I guess parents-in-law who love you, and grandparents to your kids who love your kids. A loving husband as well, and a stable home. As for Australian news, a mining company legally blew up a 40,000-ish year old piece of Aboriginal heritage this week. The government gave them permission to do so? I mean, if I hadn't, if we didn't have just a couple, was it a couple of years ago already? The, Dakota Access Pipeline protests and the quashing of those, I would say I was surprised, and yet I'm still kind of surprised at the audacity. An Australian friend of mine hates Australia Day. He calls it the rape and pillage of Aboriginal people, original people of the land day. I think most of our white-controlled countries' founding days kind of boiled down to that. I don't have a lot of kind words for Thanksgiving in the United States. I mean, that's not the United States' founding day, but it's kind of like, you know, in a sense, we celebrate white folks showing up to basically take over what was left of the, kill off what was left of the original people, and then take their lands. But, and this, like, this is gonna be a really stupid question, Hive. So apologies in advance, but, like, that land, so it was heritage land. It was under government protection, right? I mean, technically, under government protection? Obviously not, but let's do a cane run. I think the Dakota Access Pipeline land was territorial land. I'd have to do a check to get more details because it's been a while now, but yeah. You're right, Ludo, there's lots of bad stuff happening, and unfortunately I don't think we've seen close to the end of it. I think this train's gonna keep rolling on for a while yet. Not even 100% sure what the circumstances would be to make this train stop. My kids are part... wait for it, it's long. Okay. Take your time, Des. Tell your story under your own... what's the word I want? Under your own pace? Now, I'm gonna be tempted to use this fly guy. I mean, I don't know, it took forever to the, for the Ululuban people from walking over it. And Tasmania is opening up World Heritage listed forests for logging. I saw that. And that's... that's not cool. So, I mean, I don't think white people care, to be honest. No, ultimately, I mean... I think you're right, Hive. Unfortunately. Certainly not the white people who are in a position to have their caring matter, I suppose. Part Jamaican, Scottish, Grenada, Malaysian, Dutch, Eurasian, Guianese, West Indies, and Indian. That's quite a pedigree. Your kids are gonna get best in show. Oh, we got the cellar. It is indeed. I'd love to see the family tree on that. I imagine there are some very interesting stories logged in there. I only know to a general approximation my own roots because the whole adoption thing, you don't really get a lot of details. I am a mutt, but I'm not that much of a mutt. Nozokima. Now, I would like to maybe possibly get some silver hearts. That would be cool. We didn't get any on the last floor, unfortunately. Oh, this sucks. Come here. Come here. Do we just fight the boss? Just be done with it? Speaking of, in slightly happier news, I not only got my paperwork from the exit job today, but I also got the paperwork for the J-Side stimulus package. I sent that off today. I tried to go to the unemployment office, but I didn't get there until like 3, and there was a 2-hour wait, and they closed at 5. So they were just like, yeah, you know what, it's probably better if you just come back tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. I was like, I will do that thing. But hopefully, fingers crossed, because I always get super paranoid about any kind of official documentation and the filling out thereof. But hopefully the stimulus should come in next week, the sooner the better. And then I won't at least have to worry about the bills for last month. I don't know how long it's going to take for the unemployment to actually click over. Oh, that's amazing. But, again, hopefully the sooner the better, because I would like to pay my rent. That would be cool. There's a vocal contingent for moving Australia Day to a day that isn't 26th in January, but there are white people who say it's disrespectful to their day. They also don't particularly take kindly to it being called Happy Invasion Day. The idea of white people being worried about disrespect in that circumstance is so hilarious to almost be satire. Hirunda! Hey! No, don't worry about it. If you can't stay long, I understand completely 100%. I got something in the panels below the stream. I don't know if there's anything that you can donate, but if you could possibly spare a little money for the Minnesota Freedom Fund, it would mean a lot. There's a lot of really bad shit going on right now in Minneapolis, and the Freedom Fund will help provide bail support for folks who are being arrested for protesting. And I've got the feeling that they're gonna need as much help as they possibly can get. I don't mean to throw that at you, like, in the 2 seconds that you're here, but I kind of wanted to throw that out. Grenada means island off the Grenadines, so can walk around it in a day. Des, it's really weird, there's a bunch of stars in your sentence. I don't know why that would be. Yeah, that's bizarre. I can't think of any word that you would put in there that would get starred because I don't have any filters up. That happened yesterday too. I think that happened to Enigma yesterday. That is so bizarre. I wonder what's going on with that. Actually, I don't know about much what happened in Minneapolis, but I'll see if I can help somehow. Even a couple bucks would be a help. Crap. I don't want to lose this Eternal Heart. That would be bad. There's a lot going on though in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now. Damn it. Saw that happening. So yeah, it is super appreciated. If you've ever felt like sending money to me, send it to them instead. Oh, it thinks it's a link because I put a full stop somewhere. Ah! Ah! I gotcha. Yes, Hiruna, definitely be careful, and I would advise maybe if there's video, don't watch it. Just stick with, like, text reports. The videos going around of the protests are just protest videos. The videos going around of the inciting incident is a very, very hard watch. And I would argue probably shouldn't have been shared. But that's a big discussion that I'm kind of still feeling my way around. Oh, we have no keys. Of course we don't. Of course we don't. But thank you, Hirunda, honestly. Wow. I guess everybody's stuck living in the times that they're living in, but I could be... sometimes I kind of wonder about these times. Also, Little Big Play got a video of Assault 66 up on YouTube. Awesome! I will give it a check. So. Hold on a second, let me clear this room. I want to take a look at what you just said, Hive. Alright. There are also videos of what is happening in the city, which is overwhelming and scary. They are, but... how do I put this? To a less intimate degree? To an extent in my mind, if that makes sense. Like... The videos are scary because it's full-on state brutality against the population, and that's frightening in and of itself, but the inciting video is, to be perfectly frank, a snuff film. I don't think there's any other descriptor that can be used for that. And to me, that's on a whole other level. At least as far as emotional engagement. Sleep, Hiruna, be well. Take care of yourself. And thank you again so much for showing up. The city was on fire 4 hours ago. It's a more scale thing that... it's a more large-scale thing than the inciting video. Yes. I mean... yes. I mean, clearly yes. But it's almost like... how do I put it? the scale of the protest and riot videos, to me, makes it read like news in my mind, like a news report. The initial video of Mr. Floyd actually being murdered, it's because it's just that happening, and it's so close and it's so there, that it makes it so much more difficult for me to deal with on an emotional level. And the fact, and this is just me as a white kid, the fact that this has been shared all over Twitter, and a lot of black folks have had that just like pop up in their timelines. I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like. It's more conceptually scary because of what it could pretend. That's a very good point. That's an excellent point. I don't know, folks. Like, I don't know where, kind of dovetailing off, I guess what you just said, Hive, but I don't really know where this goes now. Like, you've got people who want to return to the status quo, and it's like, this is the status quo. There's no returning from this point. I mean, I think we maybe could have said that as soon as Trump was elected, but like, there isn't a back here, and I don't know what the forward means, if that makes any sense. I think we should really push... No, don't do that. I think we should push for the item room. It is something definitely, though, to I think, to keep an eye on and see how this starts to hash out. Yera. Well, Yera's not really going to be very useful to us. Ah, so. Be interesting if we have actual elections in November, and if Trump loses, and I think that's a big question mark, whether or not he'll actually leave office, because it's pretty clear he's got a lot of support in law enforcement. I don't know how much support he has in the military, because he's been shitting pretty steadily on the military for a while now. But yeah, Trump's got an executive order out to prevent social media from editing, deleting his tweets on the grounds of them being misleading. So there's that as well. Yeah, he's... God. He's such a fucking toddler. And the labeling of his tweet is like the smallest possible consequence that he could have had. I mean, if thinking as just a Twitter user, ignoring for a moment that he's the fucking president of the fucking United States. You know, his account wasn't blocked. His account wasn't shut down. The tweets weren't deleted. Although I think the user has to delete those tweets. And he throws a fit and I'm gonna do an executive order. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with this world? have no good answers, unfortunately. Imaginary Buttons, it's wonderful to see you. Welcome back tonight. We're doing a little bit of Isaac and kind of trying to noodle our way around this benighted modern world that we seem to find ourselves in. Buttons, I've been mentioning this to everybody who's been showing up, but if you scroll down the stream a little bit, there's a panel up that should have a link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. They're a group that helps provide bail for Minnesotans. And also, if I remember correctly, they do help people who have been detained by ICE. But considering that a lot of people are being arrested for the protests in Minneapolis, the Freedom Fund and those people who are being arrested are going to be needing probably as much help as we can give them. If it's not possible because of situations right now, by all means don't feel pressured, but I just want to make the option open. Are you doing well tonight, Buttons? That's probably a heck of a thing to get hit with, like, first thing in the stream, but I kind of want to make sure I point it out before I forget. 'Cause I do that. Oh, it's too late for that, though. It's not too late for love, but it's too late for more options. I will definitely spread the word. I'm on SSI, and funds are really short, but I'm glad to know to help how I can. That's the most I think any of us can ask. And I'm kind of in the same place. Once the stimulus check comes in... Oh, that was stupid. Once the stimulus check comes in, and or my unemployment check comes in, I'm definitely going to send some money their way, but for right now, this just making it known is kind of my limit. But I appreciate that so much. And I'm sure they appreciate that as well. I'm cleaning, so sorry if I don't react to stuff, by the way. Ludo, don't worry about it. You react as you can, when you can. As much as I would like to, I don't think that we are in a position to do boss rush on this run. So we're just gonna let that off to the side. I'm doing okay today. Woke up recently. How's everyone doing? For myself, I'm doing personally better. I got some information that I needed. We were talking about last night about like getting my unemployment sorted out, and I can get that process. Well, the next stage. I'm sorry, I've got hiccups. That's disgusting. I can get the next stage of that process started tomorrow. I am also filled with delicious curry, and it is very good. Namidap is great. Yera is good. Oh wow, these are amazing. We might... Although... oh, we just missed it. Oh gosh darn. I was gonna say we might do boss rush. Oh wait, we could have totally done boss rush. We didn't just miss it. The door was open. I believe the rest of the chat is doing as well as any of us can hope at the moment. I know that Dez has a little bit of non-kid, the children are the grandparents. I think Hive, you said that you were doing at least pretty okay. And Ludo is cleaning, and cleaning is always... I would say that cleaning is always a wonderful thing, except I haven't really tidied my apartment in... Isco, why would you do that? Why... That, you just... There were spikes. Why would you step on those spikes? It is me, I'm the fool. I'm glad to hear it, Hive. How is your hand, by the way? The last big update we had was that you had it in a splint. Website testing run in 30 minutes of getting lunch. Des, enjoy your lunch. Good luck with the testing. I hope that everything is perfect. And I hope that your evening is perfect as well. Enjoy your quiet time. Fight those koi. Or you could fight for koi, which is a form of love. Although I think that koi as love is more of the physical kind of love. I'm never 100% sure. Cleaning is an ordeal for those of us with dust allergies. I promise, Hive, if you ever visit, I will clean. I will dust. Because that's my home is... The dust is starting... It's more dust than apartment at the moment. I'm wondering if I can make some adobe out of this dust, perhaps? It's fluctuating. It's in a splint currently, and that should be helping. My headphones are doing that crackly thing. I really wish they wouldn't do that. I know it must be a little bit frustrating, Hive, because you just kind of got right back into guitar. But I do hope that you're able to take care of your wrist and your thumb. And that there's not too much... Disco. Disco, disco, disco. Why? Why for art thou? It's a top tier dust collection. If the Antiques Roadshow ever comes to Osaka, I could show them my apartment, and probably I could get a little bit of dosh for this dust. That's how it works, right? If something is dusty, it's automatically an antique. Like this 2020 calendar. Covered in dust. Must be an antique. She says this only half joking. I kind of wonder if we should maybe save our 2020 calendars just to prove that this happened. Because otherwise this year would seem too absurd. Or possibly burn 2020 calendars in kind of a chaos magic ritual to make 2020 just not. I don't know if it works that way. I think we'd have to ask Alan Moore. He seems to be like the go-to chap for chaos magic. It really does feel like we've fallen into a surrealist dystopia sometimes. Honestly, and it's probably gotten to the point of being cliche, but if I had read this in a book, I wouldn't have believed it. It would have been too absurd. I'd say, author, you're over-egging the fucking pudding. Make up your mind. Do you want a dictator? Do you want a stand-type plague? Do you want racial unrest? What story are you fucking going for, author? And then the publishing company would throw me out of the office because, like, what the hell am I doing there? I'm not even an editor. Have you read the Parable of the Sower? No, I have not, but I will put it on one of my many notes because that's the only way I'll remember anything that people tell me. I think after the life that we've all been living so far, heavy books are going to start to look like light literature. Let me see, Parable of the Sower. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Buttons. Is it... I'm gonna guess it's a fiction? Just kind of like jumping off of what what it said previously. We should actually play this chap. I don't think we've unlocked Counterfeit Penny yet. Nice. Excessively nice. I love it. Give me more. I think that Kane has an automatic 1 luck on the shell game, or I guess the skull game, as it were. Come on now. Don't play me like this. I'm your friend. It's post-capitalist dystopia dealing with plague, racism, and social collapse. So what you're saying is it's basically a history book, right? But that's post-capitalism. That's very different from the uber-capitalism that we're living in now. It does sound interesting, though. And I'd definitely be up for reading it. There are a couple of books that I kind of want to get into once I feel like I have the money to drop on them. The sequel, Parable of the Sower... Wait. Hold on a second, have I... Is Parable of the Sower the first book or the sequel? Because in the earlier question... Oh, okay, good. I was kind of worried there for a minute. No worries, it's 100% cool. I don't have any particular reading disabilities, but every now and then my brain will just like put stuff there that isn't what I actually read. So it's 100% possible that it was me that screwed up. Where is... Oh, we gotta go this way, definitely. Parable of the Sower is the first book. Parable of the Talents is the second one. Okay. Good. Do you know if those books are on Kindle? Because shipping Dead Tree format to Japan is not always super cheap. Although sometimes the English language books can be sourced in Japan. If they need to be shipped from overseas, it does get to be a wee bit expensive. Just a wee, that's all. Yes, also Audible if you're into that. I'd probably do... Oh, this is such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea that we're not going to do that. Because that's just a terrible idea. I'd probably do just like a Kindle format. I like reading. I think my mind would drift a little bit too much if I was trying to do it in audiobook. Although having said that, I've never actually like sat down with an audiobook, so I could be wrong. So, are you an Audible file? Hive? And you recommend the service? Oh, but yes! Yes, you've mentioned that before, Hive. I'm sorry, I totally should have remembered that. You have said before that... Bisco, stop. We really do want to do Shoal. You have mentioned before, Hive, that, you have an easier time with listening to audiobooks than you do with reading paper books. I think you said that when we were talking about... Hello, Brain. Meet the real Brain. And our misfit way of life. And when we were talking about... Kill 6 billion demons. That came up. I recommend audiobooks, not necessarily Audible, being an Amazon dealie. That's a fair cop. 100%. I love reading, but I have narcolepsy, and I fall asleep if I'm just looking at a book for too long. I could see how that would be of issue, yeah. I agree. I'm trying to disentangle myself from Amazon as much as possible. It's hard. We used to do streaming on YouTube, which is like very much a lateral move. But, thank you, Hive. That pleases me greatly. My problem with YouTube as a streaming platform is the moderation tools are pretty junk. You can't actually block ban people unless they've changed it. But when I was doing YouTube, oh, we can't even go to Shoal. You could only time people out. You couldn't actually, like, block them from the chat. And even though it's not something that comes up very often, it's a tool that I very much want in my mods toolkit. It's hard, especially as how much stuff is hosted on AWS stuff. YouTube is pretty trash in a lot of ways, especially in regards to community safety. Yeah, I'm not like... kind of similar to Twitch, but it's just like... you're in that spot where it's the only game in town. I mean, I suppose I could just not do YouTube, and I am on a hiatus from doing new episodes on YouTube. All of the stuff that's been coming up recently, and until I think June 11th, is migration from the old channel over to the current YouTube channel. And I could not stream as well, but if you want to stream, or if you want to do any kind of like video stuff, you're looking at YouTube and Twitch. And it sucks. I'm having sukiyaki beef noodles pasta. Huh? Des? That sounds so good. I had the curry pasta today. But that's mainly because spaghetti is my base starch. That is an emoji. I saw the... I can see the emojis. Twitch is really weird. Like... and not Twitch. The PS4 overlay is really weird. Like, it shows some emojis, and it doesn't show others. So, like, when raids come in, a lot of times it's just, like, block text on the PS4 overlay. Because it's not really picking up the Twitch emojis. I'm gonna give a really quick pause here. I'm gonna take a break, grab a little bit of water, have a cigarette. If any of you need water, hopefully not a cigarette, but please get your water, and don't burn down the house, I guess. And we're back. Yeah, so on the stream overlay on the PS4, it just says haha cat. And on the Twitch chat, we've got the actual cat. Hopefully success in cleaning though. Ludo, welcome back. Let's see. Who we plink away at? Kane. I've already done Yuda. Eve? I mean, I do like Eve. She's a fun character. We don't have the Razor Blade yet, unfortunately. Which means Eve is a little bit tricky to play. But we'll find a way to make this work. She's got a dead bird in her hair. I mean, that's got to be worth something. I'm not sure what it's worth, but something. $1.50 maybe? I'm brushing my teeth and switching to workout mode right now. It's amazing that you can text and brush your teeth at the same time. I respect that. Parable of the Sowers by Octavia E. Butler. And the premise is that our protagonist is a young black woman with a neurological condition that causes her to feel pain. All pain she observes others experiencing. Oh, crap. Pay attention, Risco. So she's like a super empath, I guess. Seen the news, the police off. Yes, Des. I was dancing around that detail a little bit, but yes. Yeah. I mean, ultimately much worse, but yeah. The parallels are quite clear. I saw the court proceedings, the King court proceedings. The King court proceedings were a farce. They were a joke. Like Eric Garner. Okay, the Eric Garner's drawn a blank on me, Hive. Unfortunately, there are too many of these cases to kind of keep in my mind. He wasn't one of the Rodney King officers, was he? Be more than happy to let... Oh! All officers were scared for our lives. You're armed, all four of you. And that's the excuse that's generally made. That terrified for our lives by this completely unarmed person who is at our mercy. We're not taking that. It's become the standard go-to excuse. Even in the Zimmerman case, where, and why should we even remember Zimmerman? The Trayvon Martin case, where Zimmerman basically had followed Mr. Martin and instigated the fight, and then claimed that he was threatened, shot Trayvon Martin, killing him, and he got off because stand your ground laws protect white people. Nobody else, but yeah. And that's, I mean, not only just police departments, but that's the standard kind of go-to line in any of these cases where a minority person is injured or killed by a white person, particularly white police officers, but again, not exclusively white police officers. It could be just white assholes. Now, we are rolling this very close to the edge. Eric Garner was put into a chokehold, and now I remember. Yes, okay. Yes. I think I just read about that case recently while reading up on what happened to Mr. Floyd. There was another heart. I know there was another heart. We really need it? Okay, please. And the chokehold was considered, what do I want to say? Not non-standard, that's not the word that I'm looking for. Non-approved by the police department, and still, I think that case skated on. I don't believe that officer was arrested. Might have been put on probation. Now, I do, kind of want to point out before we get too much deeper, although, you know, we're already an hour and a half in, but into this particular area of the conversation thread, I do think that this is important to point out, but let's not go overboard in descriptions. For folks who may be dealing with this, that might not be something that they would be comfortable reading. No, Des, it's understandable. It's shocking, and it does bring it out, but just to maybe, just to be a little bit careful is all. Why have they not been done for murder, simple as it's murder? It's extremely difficult, in the United States at least, to... That doesn't help us, does it? To prosecute and even bring charges against police officers who are involved in these types of incidents. The best that usually can be helped for is... Give me a second, let me get the words out. Like a probationary hold? Like being put on probationary suspension while the case is investigated? And even then, like, they generally don't lose their jobs. Sometimes they do. The four that were involved in this current incident at least were fired. I think, given the results, like what's happened previously, and not previously, what's been happening right now, it would have been very difficult for the police department to keep them. But didn't Obama call for tighter gun control, but it got blocked? Do you mean, when you say tighter gun control, do you mean like for citizens, or do you mean for police? Police are citizens, but even when officers are dismissed, they get hired by other jurisdictions. Yes, that's... Hive has got one of the nails on the head right there. It is very common for officers that have been let go from their departments to just move on to another department. And in fact, to briefly round things back to like how crappy King has become, the adult protagonist in the last King book that I read was exactly such an officer. Now King bends over backwards to show us that this officer is a good officer, and nobody was hurt. No, well, somebody was hurt, but nobody was killed. But the pattern is there. Removed from duty at one police department, one jurisdiction, move state, get a job in the next one. That also used to be, and I really don't want to go too deep in the weeds here, but to show like how common that this type of handling is in sexual assault cases by teachers and priests. That was often how teachers would operate. They would be relieved from their job in the district and then would move to another district. The Catholic Church would move priests who had been accused to other dioceses. Des, have a wonderful day. I'm sorry this was a bit of a darker stream. I do wish you very good luck with your testing. Hopefully the next stream will be a little bit brighter. King of centrism, more like it. King, I got mine. And I don't really get how the world works anymore. If he ever did. I missed Des going because I was talking. I feel like a jerk. The officer in the current case had complaints against him that were dismissed. Yes! Yes. As another little piece of this shit pie. I think shit pie, that works, right? It's hard to tell sometimes. Definitely take those bombs. But the way police departments and the Justice Department handles these cases is... Oh, come on, really? Is an absolute atrocity. And it does not pass in any muster as justice. I think it would be very difficult to give that descriptor. Oh, did I miss something the button said? I'm feeling like I'm kind of juggling like a dozen different things here. Buttons, if you had said something and I missed it after the part where you were talking about the book and the character being a super empath, then I do apologize. We didn't need that. No, that's all. Okay. I'm glad then, I guess. I appreciate it. I really, really do. I always love to give book recommendations, and I'm really trying to get back into reading. I had, there was a bit, like, recently where I really wanted to be reading again, and then I read something that didn't sit really well with me, and it kind of killed my enthusiasm a bit. But I would very much like to pick up some new authors. We should... Oh, this is one of those. Okay. That's not really what I wanted, but... Oh no, don't worry about it, Hive. You're perfectly 100% okay. Bonken might be good. What are you? Speed down. No, definitely not speed down. Nah, I think we'll go with this. And I think we'll try to take less damage. That would be pretty smart. Because we're taking a lot of damage. And that's not smart. We didn't even get to deal with the devil. This is me. This is my disappoint face. I am disappoint. Now, I do wonder if we're gonna be able to pick up Boss Rush. Because that would be pretty cool. I would be A-okay with that. I'd also be A-okay with picking up maybe a little bit of damage. Because we seem to be just a little bit lacking. Just a touch. Not so much as it shows, but... I guess somehow we'll get by. We will survive and thrive? Well, we'll survive at least. I don't know about the thriving yet. That's kind of... like, it's asking a lot. That's not what I wanted to do. At all. Oh! Let's go! Stop it! Damn, Steam sale. That's pretty cool. I think we could do something with that. It would be nice if we could pick up, I don't know, like maybe Guppy? I'm just throwing it out there, but maybe Guppy would be pretty cool. I got the feeling that we're gonna roll Snake Eyes on that one, unfortunately. Why? Why would you do that? Isko, you're just starting to get your HP back? Don't you like your HP? All the cool kids are down with HP. What's your problem? Don't you want to be cool? The answer is no, I don't really want to be cool. Room temperature? I could go with room temperature, but not cool. Although I suppose room temperature probably feels cool to the touch. If it's a body. Oh god. Stop. Please go stop. This run feels really slow, and I don't know why. Like, we seem to be making pretty good time, and yet not at all. That's me, I'm Bobo the Fool. I think we could pull this off somehow. It's not a particularly... Well, it could be a particularly difficult run if we're not careful, but... If we could just get, like, one really nice item. I don't know what that item would be, but... something to kind of give us a bit of a booster rocket. Because as it is now, like, we're just scraping by. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that. And if we keep on taking this stupid damage, we're not even going to be scraping by. They're going to be scraping us off the floor. And I really don't like that. Which means we're going to have to take the extra time to go to the item room and probably the shop as well. Come on, you cowards. Give me a secret room. They're not giving me... Oh my god. We might actually factually die. Wouldn't that be funny? Go from a run that should be, like, guaranteed shoo-in, and then just throw it all away. Throw it all away. I suppose it is that time of night where that does tend to happen. Usually the third and fourth runs of the night are pretty... not great. Nice. I appreciate that. It is like the appropriate bit to come in this type of situation. Oh, Chester. Poor Chester. I was never a particularly big fan of Linkin Park. If I were to be 100% honest with things, but it is sad a little how that all turned out. Now, Honey Bunny, she loved Linkin Park, so... Rock Show! Rock Show? Are we watching the same run, Hive? Early Linkin Park still whips? Perhaps? I don't know if there was a particular reason, but... like, I just didn't cotton to them. I do like Paper Cut. I have to say. It's my, it's a semi-guilty pleasure. But otherwise, I just never really got into them. Maybe you were a bit old for new wave metal. That's, like, certainly possible. What year was, Meteora? Okay, we can do this. We can do this. We could totally do this. Brimstone! Meteora was... no... was Meteora their big one? Like, the... Meteora is the one that's got Paper Cut on it, right? And, like, all their early hits. Which album was that? They had two big albums. Oh, Hybrid Theory, right? Meteor and then Hybrid Theory. Hybrid Theory was 2000, so I was already out of uni by that point. And you're probably right. Like, I think my tastes had probably calcified to some extent as far as what music I was listening to. Oh, I want that. So it's quite possible then, like if I had been a couple years younger, that they would have probably caught my eye more so than they did. I will take you $3 bill. It's kind of funny how you just sometimes have to be in the time and place to really, like, have something catch you. And I wonder a little if some of the bands that, like, I'm still really into and I still really like. Disturbed. If I would have liked them had... Bisco, what are you doing? Okay, just eat the heart. Thanks for the random Japanese revision. I will give... Guilty Pleasures, the Richard Cheese version of Down with the Sickness, I do really like, and I do like imagining Want if it had been sung by L7 and not by Disturbed. I think a gender swapped Want would be pretty kickin'. $3 bill, y'all. We're getting all the greatest 2000s hits. I think I told this story before, and every time I think about it, I feel a little bit more like I'm misremembering or imagining things. But I saw Faith No More in concert in 1997. Is that right? It's 97 maybe? Yeah. And Limp Bizkit opened for them, except, like, this was before, not to be hipster, but this was before, like, they were just really anything big. They were just an opening act. And, like, Fred Durst was really skinny. Like, he was very wee. So when Limp Bizkit finally got big, and, you know, like, Fred Durst is rocking it up there, and he's like, you know, he's built and all, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This is not Fred Durst. This is not the person I remember opening for Faith No More. Yeah, that was when they only had one album. Sadly, I'm a Limp Bizkit expert. So, like, what happened exactly? Did he get really insecure in himself and decided that he needed to bulk up? I may have, although I will not confirm this, but I may have owned, like, Limp Bizkit's first big album. I'm not saying definitely. I'm not saying 100% that was the thing that happened, but it's possible that I may have owned their first biggie. Maybe it was getting a record deal, or maybe it was the drugs. I mean, it's of course possible that drugs were involved, but unless they're steroids, it usually doesn't fit the drug pattern. Oh, unless it was like, it was the drugs that made him really skinny, and then he kind of got over that. For those who don't know, Rakusho means easy win, and Hisho means sure win. It's a good tease. Yo, I respect the tease. Oh, Shate Kyoriapu. Great. That's super useful. It's always good to do a little bit of practice Japanese, Hive. Did anyone else know Disturbed did a cover of Shout by Tears for Fears? Yes, I did, and that cover is actually on the J-side version of Disturbed's, like, their 2000 album. And I know this because I rented that album so that I could put it onto my computer. Oh, crumbs. We're gonna get the deal with the devil here, which means we're not gonna be able to go to Shoal. And that makes me sad. I am sad. This is Risco being sad. It makes me laugh every time. They are so committed. It's, yeah, like, you know, sometimes people, like, get a little bit cheesed because, like, a band does their own take, and then sometimes people get a little bit cheesed because a band is a little bit too, like, perfectly covering the song. Limp Bizkit, they just definitely, they put their, not Limp Bizkit, Disturbed definitely puts their Disturbed spin on Shout. Did you know Disturbed did a cover of Land of Confusion? I did not know that, and I don't know if I wanted to know that. I'm not sure if that information, like, helps my life. That's, I feel stupefied. That's me, I'm stupefied. Wow. I mean, Shout is bad enough as something that doesn't really match their style. You are shitting me. There is no way. This is you pulling my tail because you know I'm old. And that I probably missed out on that. Wait, for real? Hive, are they not pulling my tail? Is this a real thing that happened in this world? Oh god. 12 years ago, honestly, at this point, Ludo, may as well be 100. But wow. I mean, okay. It's like we just keep on getting successively worse fits. Because I thought Land of Confusion would be a bad fit for Disturbed, but Sound of Silence is just, that's above and beyond. On the other hand, Sound of Silence is a song that I hate, so that's okay. I suppose if the Disturbed crew wants to put their own unique spin on it, more power to them. I would like to go to Shoal, but I don't think that this is gonna happen. I don't know about the Sound of Silence, but probably. Unless, how's this for a genius take? What if Disturbed did the Sound of Silence, but it was completely silent? Like they didn't sing, they didn't play their instruments, just for the entire runtime of the song? I think, you know, it would be pretty kickin'. I can't imagine the music video. I'm not sure I want to imagine the music video. "435 seconds of just pure silence," yeah. This sucks. We are like straight up guppy. We would absolutely destroy Satan in a trice, and I don't think they're gonna give us the chance to do it. And that makes me sad. I am sad. Game, why do you want to make me sad? This isn't gonna help, I don't think. Oh, that wasn't cool. We'll play this too. We do need to get the dollar at some point. Stop taking damage from the flies, Visco. That's dumb. That's right. We're trying to squeeze dumb out of our vocabulary. That's silly. You don't want to be silly. Honestly, my Twitter feed has been filled with Hellraiser fan art, so I have a very different image of Satan living in my head. Hold on a second here, Hive. Leviathan is not Satan. Leviathan is the Lord of the Labyrinth. Quite different. I realize it's in the name, but I really wish that they hadn't gotten so deep into, like, literally Christian hell for Hellraiser. Oh, Helltaker! Sorry. Oh, we gotta shoot our shot. We gotta go fight Satan. And also that's my feed as well, Hive. My feed has been an awful lot of Helltaker fan art, and I love it. I think we talked about this in Kazi's Discord, but I really like the fact that the Helltaker, like, character design, except for Judgment, is kind of sexy, but it's not sexed up, if that makes sense. It reminds me a lot of... I don't want Dead Cat. Just get out of here, Dead Cat. We don't need you. It reminds me of Skullgirls a lot. Although when I saw the art for the protagonist, who is Satan, right? The protagonist is Satan, right? I honestly thought it was Kiryu. It is, but still I should pay more attention. Sure, we'll take Fishhead. It's not as good as Fishtail. Yeah. I actually checked Helltaker because I like the fan art so much that I wanted to see what the game was like. I don't really think it's my style of game, but I do appreciate the fact that it's free. And I also appreciate the fact that the art book is what the creator is charging for. The setup is, like, very het. There's no dodging that. And that was disappointing. But if you can get around that, and if you like puzzle games, it might be something that's up your alley. I do appreciate that, like, it seems as though a large part of the story deals with pancakes. I don't know why that amuses me so much, but it does. Hive has got it in one. Oh, Kamisori. And we got the negative. Right, Hive? Now that would have been a game that I would have been very much more into. I'm back, the quickest test ever. Usually up to 2 hours. Damn! Good to hear it, Des. I feel bad because I'm going to take one last quick break and then we're going to do one last run. But just give me a mo. Alright, we are back. What did I miss? We were talking about new metal. By the way, in case you've got any new metal love that you want to drop in the chat. There's a second ending where you run into Beelzebub and it turns out the backstory Justice banished her back when Justice and not Judgment was High Prosecutor of Hell. And gosh, do I want a game about that and why Justice is no longer High Prosecutor of Hell and Judgment instead. That sounds like a way cooler game. At least it sounds like a way cooler game premise. I'd recommend looking at art around the game if you're not into the premise. The art is great. I don't know, like, how the story is handled in-game. So I don't... because I've only really seen the fan art and the first trailer of it. But, you know, it is free. So... let's see. Who do we go with? Isaac. We haven't had any luck with Isaac is the problem. It's Isaac or Magdalene though. And Maggie is so slow. Alright, let's do it. Ooh, that sucks. Oh, come on! That is such a cheat! Bombs are key? Oh, maybe? I don't know. I just like turn-based games a lot. Crud. I think we do bombs are key, and I think we check this chest. That was probably... That was definitely the right move. That was 100% the right move. That was not the right move, Disco. Why would you do that? Why be so foolish? You would think after like 3,000 plus hours of playing Isaac, I would be a little bit better at dodging shots that are like traveling in a straight line directly at my face, and yet, the reality of the situation is that is not the case. It is kind of shocking, to be perfectly honest. I mean, those wibbly wobbly shots, I think I should be forgiven for missing those all the time. Ooh, want to come back for that. Didn't like that. Not one bit. There's also a demon who is addicted to turn-based strategy games, and in her prequel comic, it's revealed she has to pay to get them smuggled into hell. I like that. I like that a lot. That's oddly sweet. Wah, wah. But really though, tell me how you actually feel. I appreciate that the Demon of Lust character is probably like the least sexy character in it. In fact, quite chaste looking. There are a lot of oddly sweet moments in the game. It doesn't hurt, you know, that the main character looks like Kiryu. I definitely want that. Perfection. That is exactly what we wanted. I do appreciate games that can be self-aware enough to pull off tongue-in-cheek. Disgaea can be that as well. If you do play it, I'm not going to spoil the Demon of Lust arc. Okay, well, I mean, if not for me, at least for Imaginary Buttons, because I don't know that I'm going to pick it up. Like I said, I don't know that the playstyle is particularly something that I'm interested in. But we'll put a moratorium on that until Buttons has got it finished. Bisco, why? It's bloody poop. How could you not notice? How could I not notice? This giant red piece of bloody poop. No problem, Buttons. I don't want to screw up anybody else's play experience here. And usually when we're doing like new games, at least new games to me, but also new games to the chat. That was dumb. That was dumb. Damn it. We do tend to kind of go spoiler light. Gameplay spoilers, but not like story spoilers. Unless it's a game that just everybody knows, and then we'll just dig into it. Risco, why? Risco, why? Why? Nande? Nani yattenen? New metal. Metal's so new it's spelled from the future. I kind of also have to give props to an artist who wanted so much to have a game about a particular topic, they taught themselves Unity. Fair enough. It seems like enjoyment of Linkin Park is pretty common in the chat, Des. It's definitely new metal. Nice. We are all living in the super future. I'm not gonna begrudge anybody for liking Linkin Park. Well, you're throwing it away, girl. You're throwing it away. You got to stop. Look at what am I doing, really, with my life? They were definitely more a band that Honey Bunny enjoyed than I did. I was never super into Evanescence. But they would kind of count as new metal, wouldn't they? This whole floor has just been stuffed. Like, I just fudged the heck out of this. I'm so displeased with my own performance that I have to pause and think of my own words. Lest I come off like a raving rave. There's contention about what new metal is, and I don't know if Evanescence were more alt metal or new metal. Interesting. What would you consider to be the hallmarks of new metal, Hive? And what would kind of take Evanescence out of that pool? Evanescence comes off as new metal meets new wave. We used our key to go into the shop and fuss budgets. We don't have a key for the item room. Why? This is not what I need. This is not what I need at all. And we're fighting the Fallen. Good to know. It's gonna be great. As has been mentioned on the chat before, my ability to actually describe musical genre is woefully what? Woefully weak? It's not very good is what I'm getting at. I am woefully under-equipped to describe genre. God, that was all terrible. Evanescence had white guy rapping, so 100% new metal. Okay. White guy rapping equal. I mean, I don't worry about it. Hive? Or Ludo, excuse me. But it's more like, I don't know, I feel like it would make it easier to talk about things sometimes. I was actually talking about this with Enigma last night, and or maybe yesterday, like just how hard it is for me to describe things about music. It's like, I know I like it. It makes me feel things. That's about as close as I can get. It just makes you think more in boxes. That's not always so useful. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Then you should look more into music theory and interpretation. It's not a bad idea. Do we really want Ludo's eye? Fucking, we'll take it. Well, actually, Ludo is in the chat, so picking up Ludovicio's technique is required. There. I have an excuse for doing this terrible, terrible thing to myself that I know I'm going to regret. Good, good, good. It is named after you? Retroactively named after you? I guess. Sorry about that. I hate chasing worms. The next time, do you think you could take me, Ludo? I got a couple of things I think I might want to take care of in the past. Just a couple. It wouldn't even involve gambling. Or assassination, because that never works. Time travel assassination seems like it's always a bad idea. Down-tune guitar as well. So down-tune guitars, syncopation, and hip-hop influence. Okay. Just stand. Of course. Of course, why not? And I don't know why I used Devil, because it's certainly not going to be useful to us. Duh. Stop it. Please go. What are you doing? Throwing your runaway. I can't believe we took damage against Gertie. Like, I feel personally insulted by myself. Twice. 3 times even, actually, now that I think about it. I can't even blame it. I'm being drunk. Only had the 1 beer. It's fine. It's fine. Don't. The past is horrible right now. I'm never going back there. Okay. Don't worry about the blue screen. It wasn't a crash. The microphone just went wonky. And then suddenly it just stopped being wonky. It happens. It's my entropy field. It sucks. Also, our total lack of bombs. Very much the suck. Hishonya! Yeah, it just like, it dropped out suddenly. And it went to the start screen and asked me who was using this controller. It's like, I don't know, same person's been using the controller the last 2 hours. It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I don't know what the actual problem is. If it's a port problem or not. Oh, you... Wait, no, we can get that. We can totally get that. Lucky. Super lucky, because I really wanted to go to the shop in the item room. Of course, it does mean we're going to have to go through that really crappy room again. Oh, Mongo baby. Oh. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know your controllers? Nice. Did you get those commercials too, Hive? We had those in the States. We even had them on the local channels, which is weird, because, like, my hometown was pretty podunk. And by podunk, I mean it was, like, super podunk. But not, like, lots of farm podunk. It was just, it was a city. It was just in the middle of nowhere. It kind of makes sense, like, those commercials being on the New York City affiliates. But not so much, like, the hometown station. Ooh, we do have 4 bombs. Let's check this. I know they happen in the States. I know of them from The Simpsons. Okay, that's fair enough. Maybe then it was just a US thing. I know where my children are. They're right here in chat. Cute. Do we risk it? I think we do. That was useless. Good, good, good. We risked it for the biscuit, and it didn't kick it, so now I'm gonna lick it, wick it? I don't know, Fred Durst said a lot of things. I've told you already, no! do you really wanna know where your kids are? Would it make it any better to know they're in the back of Susie Hinkleman's Volkswagen? Probably not. I don't know who Susie Hinkleman is, or why she has a Volkswagen, or for that matter what your kids are doing back there. But really, you don't want to know. Oh, this sucks. Okay. Stars! Mari's next to me. Okay, yeah. She is childlike in her wonder. Oh, butt bombs. Those will come in super handy. And by super handy, I mean not at all. I know where my daughter is, and she's a cat. Well, at least Des also knows where her kids are, so that's good. I don't know about Ludo and Imaginary Buttons. Do y'all know where your kids are? Are they off like huffing paint thinner? Because I've heard that's a thing that kids do. Like, we're not... Oh, you... No! Gosh darn it, I really didn't want to do that, but we totally did it. Way to go. Oh, we are fucked. My bloodline ends with me. Well, you're not alone, Ludo. My kids are ferrets and they're asleep. Oh my god, that sounds so cute. You've got some slinky boys and slinky girls. Why did we do this to ourselves? Nothing good is gonna come out of the fact that we re-rolled an actual good run into a trashed one. I just wanted to say that. It sounds badass. It does sound badass. Polecats. Which is weird because, I mean, I don't know about other places, but in the States, the first stinky, like, polecats are skunks. Oh, God. See, we can't take any hits is the problem. The reason we can't take any hits is because we have to charge our cursed eye. If we take a hit while we are charging the cursed eye, we will be teleported. So that sucks. And we didn't get anything good out of that room. Of course. Of course! Now, what we should be doing if we're smart is baiting bloat and hitting with bombs. And apparently we have homing bombs. Oh, you fucking fuck. I swear to God. Of course. Of course. Of course. This is why... Carpet shark? Hold on a second. Let me kill everything. What? Hold on. What? First Slinky. First Slinky. Okay, I got that. I made a tag yourself ferret meme a few years ago with a bunch of commonly used nicknames for ferrets. My favorite I found was Carpet Shark. That's... I mean, that's a mood. Why, Cursed Eye? Why? What did we do? Well, obviously we stepped on the reroll broom, and that was, like, dumb. We should never done that, but... I... really... regret everything, basically, about this run. I mean, there's other things I regret in Meat Space, but this run in particular is just not... This is terrible. I denied the ludotech. That's the problem. That's the curse. The curse is that I denied the ludotech. Fuck it, I'm going to the Joker. The Jokey. In high pile carpet, ferrets will dig their noses in the carpet and run in a swiveling shark-like motion. No shit? I think that's the cutest thing I've ever heard. I don't think that you could... I don't think that you could come up with like a cuter ferret movement technique than that. I would almost guess that they had evolved that way on purpose just to snag humans. Yosh, yosh, yosh. Alright. Now, I have no idea where we are. Because... these tears... I have earned these tears through my own tomfoolery, and I deserve everything that happens. Story of my life, really. Boom. Ooh, that was... Oh, you fucking fuck. Why? You may be, like, watching the wheels slowly come off in my brain meats, so... As much as I love cats, a clingy ferret is already too much for me to handle. I would love... I would love a ferret. They seem like very charming animals, but... I really want a snake. I love the snakes. I think the snakes are wonderful and cuter than they have any right to be. You know what? Let's just kill this jerk with bombs. Why are we even worrying about charging? We know that we're just gonna take damage. Sure, I'll take it. Just give me all your damage. Whatever. I'll tank it. This might have been the most F-bombs I've heard you say in a stream. It happens sometimes. It's rare, Ludo, but sometimes we do drop an F every now and then. The particular circumstances of what the run has become is basically like what I hate most. Because it means we have to hit all our shots, which I'm not good at. And it means that we can't take any damage, which I'm not good at. The snakes and ferrets are mortal enemies, so if you get the one, you couldn't get the other. I'll keep that in mind. Buttons. I don't know why the wheel just like came right off there. I was looking at your name as I was saying that very thing. Wah. I once handled a baby snack and it wrapped itself around my finger. Oh my god! Hive, that is so cute. Now I want a snack from baby. Usually the snacks that you see here are already adults. It seems that they do. So for any polecat owners watching on VOD, if you did not know that, then please do not buy a snake. Oh, you know what? Just grab the hearts. Yo. No need to be coy, just grab them hearts. Bacon tarts and taken hearts. That's us. That's what we do. That's our brand. That is so not our brand, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it were. Oh yes, larger bombs. Now I know the mongooses are definitely snake hunters. Well, I mean, you'd have to be pretty fancy pants to have your own special snack room and your own special ferret room. There's no way in heck that we're making boss rush, so I think we're just gonna take the time to go to the shop. Of course. I like how we're all like, oh, it's just gonna be one more quick run. Just one more quick run, we'll wrap things up for the night. Turns into the slowest run ever. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I never let the snack out of the glass case, I could technically have both. Oh, I hate this. I hate this. But that seems a little bit unfair to the snack. Since I've taken the doors off the... Well, because we have sliding doors in this apartment. So I took off the sliding doors in the kitchen and the bedroom to give a little bit better wind flow. Which would mean that's the polecat, or the carpet shark, would have full reign of the house. Apartment. Poor Sneck would be on lockdown forever. Quick, run. Are dogs chasing me? I'm pretty sure that's the only time I'm ever going to be able to run from being actively chased by dogs. Ferrets are also a cleaning nightmare. In which case I think we'll stick to the Sneck. There was a studio apartment I came across. Studio, not one bedroom. It was going for just under $1 million? Okay, now I know that's dollars Australian, so it's not entirely the same. But even still, that is absurd. Like, just straight up absurd. They're they're clean overall, but they're very active. And still hide things. That sounds both cute and annoying as hell. I can't imagine that hive. Like, I can't wrap my brain meats around it. I know what you're saying is true. I have no doubts in that regard, but it just makes no sense. Oh, please, no. Just, please. My brain, she is so sick. She cannot handle this constant teleporting. Why do you do this to me? And to my family? And of course we get the blue mom twice. Because that's fair. I hate greed heads. I kind of want to say step on me mom, and yet at the same time I totally don't. Keep in mind, proportional to... Fuck me. Proportional to wage. It would be like somebody spending $800K on a studio apartment in the States. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't help my mind deal with that anymore. Because the housing prices in the big cities in the States as well are just, like, they're absurd. How do we do this? What is the win here? The win is mom's knife. If we pick up mom's knife, we can win. If we don't, then we don't, I think. Because otherwise, we're gonna have a lot of trouble. If this fight is giving us so much trouble, then every fight basically is gonna. At least we got the room cleared out. Oh, you... No! 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 Not like this! Not like this! Oh, Ghost Baby. That's... Oh, you fucking fuck. I swear to God. That was... See? We should have never denied Ludo's blessing. That was the mistake. That was the terrible, terrible mistake. Wow. Even in Pasadena, California, your dollar goes much further than Sydney. No crap. Yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely messed up. We should never have stepped on that reroll room. We had a run that was not great. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was a great run, but it was a solid run. It was a very solid run. And we threw it up to get a silver heart, which is dumb. It's just silly. And it was all downhill from there. Now I need to figure out... Because we had, before everybody showed up in chat today, there was actually like a small crash on the stream. I lost the first 5 minutes. Now if I want to bundle those both together, it'll take what should be a 30-minute upload to YouTube, and it'll turn it into a 2-hour run through Movie Maker, and then a 2.5-hour upload to YouTube, and that seems silly to do for 5 minutes. If we'd had the crash in the middle of the stream, I would have done that, but I think we're just going to cut that intro off this time. Folks, I had a really good time. Well, okay, let me qualify that. The conversation that we had in the first half or 3/4 of the stream was not fun, but I think it was a really good one. And I appreciate that all of you were kind of just willing to work through that conversation with me. It's something I feel like I have things to say, but it's very hard to differentiate what's in my lane and not, and also what I feel like I'm equipped to talk about. So it really helped to have everybody around. The post-conversation stream was very, very fun. And it was nice to talk about new metal. We only do that like every 5 or 6 streams, so you know, I guess it was new metal time today. As far as schedules, tomorrow, Janakdet, Sunday will be Little Big Planet 3, and next week, Wednesday, Thursday, will be Doom 2016, and next Sunday will be Dreams. But I'm gonna wrap it up, and for once I'm actually gonna remember to do the raid. So thank you so much, Buttons. It did end up mattering though, didn't it? Cassie's doing a stream, I don't know how long, but what did I just miss? Hopefully nothing. But I'm gonna set up a raid over to Kazi if anybody is interested in heading that way. And once I get that set, I'm going to wrap things up. So, from me, Risco, here in Osaka, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigasamurata, sayonara, see you, and ciao.